How's everyone doing? Today we're counting down the top 10 most expensive Pokemon cards from one of everyone's favorite sets, Neo Genesis. Now, if you were lucky enough to open up the set when you were younger, well, I would say, man, you are blessed because this is one of the most popular sets and one of everyone's favorite sets. So let's dive right into it. But right before we do, please go ahead and smash that thumbs up button, along with subscribing to the channel if you haven't yet. And comment down below what Pokemon card or set I should do in next week's top 10 most expensive. Now, let's start things off with the number 10 most expensive Pokemon card from Neo Genesis. And that is going to be the Steelix Pokemon card. Kind of a bland looking Pokemon card, but honestly, it kind of sums up Steelix, and I feel like the artwork on this, even though it's bland, kind of just nothing in the background, I feel like that just adds a certain to the card, just having it where it's about the Pokemon and not the illustration and the artwork in the background as well. This Pokemon card is going for a total of $81 and hasn't fluctuated that much in the past 3 months. Let's look at the past year. Cheapest this card was $61 last year, $57 back in early August, end of July, and currently sitting at $81. Now, for number 9, we have ourselves Slowking coming at $86, 48 cents. Maybe I need glasses. Looking at this card from a year ago, and again, the artwork on that card, it's so simplistic. It's literally just a baby Cliff, this guy, and the Pokemon. That's what I think makes these cards pop. Last year, this card was going for $81, had a height of 105, and is currently sitting at $86. So only since last year is $5 more expensive. At number 8, we have ourselves one of everyone's favorites, Fraligator. This Pokemon card is currently going for $113. And if we look at this card from a year ago, we can see that the height of this card was $157, almost $160. And since then, it's gone down about $44 to $113. At number 7, we have Fraligator yet again. This one a little bit less angry, I should say, of the alligator. And this card is going for a whopping $114. 3 months ago, this card was just sitting slightly above $100, and last year we could see that this card, wow, it had a giant dip at one point. But let's see, last year this card was $131 with a height of 133, and was actually at $64. Oh my gosh. Wish I knew about that. 100% would have bought that card for $65. That would have been a steal and a half. Now the holo version of it is going for $114. At number 6, we have ourselves one of the OG3. Well, obviously Fraligator's with that as well. I can never say their name right. I always called it something and it wasn't the right name. And because of that, I don't know how to pronounce the name right. I always called it Magnum. Yeah, I know, stupid, but it's literally what I always called this Pokemon, Magnum, and I never bothered to learn the real name, so we have Magnum. So stupid that I still don't know this guy's name. We have the Magnum here at $123, and if we look at this card from last year, we can see that this card was going for $129, so pretty much sitting around the same amount. And again, the same time as Fraligator, this card was going for $55 at the lowest end. Crazy. Early August, I gotta check out Pokemon card prices on some of these because they are super low. At number 5, we have ourselves Pichu from Neo Genesis. This lovable, smaller mouse Pokemon is going for $138. And last year, the price tag of this card wasn't much different at $129. With a height of $155, this card is now sitting at $138, making it $9 more expensive than last year. So pretty much in the same ballpark. At number 4, we have ourselves Magnum yet again. This Pokemon card is going for $141.66 with a last year price tag of a kind of low, $102.99. So this card is definitely one of the more expensive cards from last year. with a height price tag of $157. This card is now sitting at $141. Now, before we get to the top 3 most expensive, we're going to go over the honorable 5 Pokemon cards from this set that did not make the top 10. Number 1 of the 5 honorable mentions is going to be Asmaril, going for $44. Artwork on this, the hollow pattern, Neo Genesis, man. The hollow pattern is just unbeatable. $44.77 with a last year price tag of $37. So this card has gone up $7 since last year. Number 2 of the honorable mentions is going to be Kingdra. Kingdra is going for $49 with a last year price tag of $42.62, a height of $53, and a current price tag of $48. And number 3 of the honorable mentions is going to be Ampharos. Ampharos is going for $58.86 with a last year price tag of $45.75. The height of this card is currently up to date in today's date at $58.86. Number 2 of the honorable mentions is going to be Heracross, one of everyone's favorites. I'm sorry, Pinsir is in there. Actually, I just realized that Pinsir is in there. That's sick. It's like a view from behind Pinsir in third party, seeing that he's going to square off against Heracross. I never noticed that till now. That's dope. That's sick. I never noticed that. Those two are like literal mortal enemies in the game. Going for $65.43 with a last year price tag of pretty much the same price at $62.16. So this card has only gone up about $3 in profit. And number 1 of the honorable mentions is going to be a Togetic. Togetic is going for a current $73.97 with a last year price tag of $77.50. So a slight decrease at $4 since last year. Height of this card was $82 back in early November, late October. Now it's time for the final 3 top most expensive Pokemon cards from Neo Genesis. At number 3, we have ourselves Typhlosion. Typhlosion is going for $190 with a last year market price of, wow, a lot more, $206.88. This card has actually gone down about $16 in profit since last year. Lowest point of this card was $166, which for this dude, that's cheap. I know $166 is a lot, but I was expecting this card to be way more expensive. At number 2, we have, yes, you guessed it, another Typhlosion. This one with a lot more descriptive artwork in here, a lot more detail in this guy, with a price tag of $300.01. You know, because that 1 penny has to matter when you're making $300. That's too funny. Someone actually has it listed at $300.01. Give me a break. Last year's price tag was very low with $208.52, so $92 cheaper. With the lowest this card had been was $163.84. So at one point, early May, you could have gotten this card half price for what it's worth today. Most expensive point of this card, that's pretty much right now. And for the number 1 most expensive Pokemon card in the entire Neo Genesis set is going to be, of course, the Lugia. Not to mention, all these Pokemon cards are first editions, so don't go thinking that you have these cards. You're like, oh my god, I'm loaded. They're just first editions. This first edition Lugia, I used to have a couple of these guys, have no idea what happened to them, is going for a crazy $602.61. Last year, though, this card was only going, 3 months ago, this card was only going for $529.16. Let's look at this card from last year. Last year, this card had an insanely high price tag, and $600 is still insane. But even more insane is $750 this card was going for last year. And at one point, it had a massive drop to $208.03. Between the months of June 12th to July 2nd, this card was only going for the very low $200. Now up to $602.04. I'm sorry, it was going for $154. I was looking, the non-first edition was worth more at one point. That's very strange. But now it's going for $602.61. That concludes today's top 10 most expensive Pokemon cards. If you want to see a specific Pokemon's top 10 most expensive cards or a set of your choosing, please put in the comments down below what Pokemon card or set you would like to see featured in next week's top 10 most expensive. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to smash that like button if you haven't yet. And if you're not a subscriber, thinking about stick around and smash that subscribe button as well. Comment down below what you would like to see in next week's top 10. And as always, we'll see you next time. You know the old saying, say it with me, make Hollows great again, reprint Neo Genesis, and keep poking on. Peace out, till next time.